Hello folks, welcome to edci 632 Assessing Student Learning. My name is Dr. William Hale and I'm the instructor for your course this term. I'd like to pose a few questions before we start, and I think that since we're all engaged in some form of assessment, whether we're in education or not, we have to ask ourselves, what is assessment and what is the purpose of assessment? Do they often contradict one another? So can we ever have an assessment, and we have to have an assessment for a particular reason, can it be contradict our purpose of what we're trying to do? For instance, No Child Left Behind says that we're going to have, that no child would be left behind educationally in the United States, and that's a good goal. And it's something that all of us applaud. However, when we start thinking about it, can we encourage or insist that a special needs child perform at grade level on the same assessment as a gifted child? At the same time, can we insist that a person who is a English language learner perform at the same level in English and on the same testing instrument as a native English speaker? So we have all these particular issues, and that's not even bringing the aspects of culture into question. So when we educators began asking these really powerful questions, and just citizens asking these powerful questions about assessment, sometimes it can get bogged down. The purpose of this class is to look at assessment, find ways that we can use assessment in a positive manner, and use that not to predict student learning behavior or predict student learning outcomes, but enable us to take a concept, teach it to someone, and empower them to be able to succeed in that task. It isn't about testing ourselves as teachers. It isn't about testing the learner to see if they really picked it up. It's about, all right, how can we make this whole experience better? What can we do to achieve a positive experience in the classroom and life itself? You know, I used to be against standards, and I would speak heavily against standards in education. But then I realized that we use standards in every area of our life and every area of our society. For instance, each of you, those of you who have become teachers, had to meet certain standards. I would hate it if someone came into the classroom and didn't go through a life scan, and we found out after 5 or 10 years that the person is a pedophile because he didn't meet the standard. So we have to have that standard. It's the same thing in other areas of life. I would not like to get on an airplane if the pilot was visually impaired. I'm sorry. So we have to have standards. People have to meet a standard to do a particular function in our society. It's the same thing with it's the same thing with assessment. How do we then prepare assessments that allow us to measure or determine whether that person meets a particular standard that we have decided as something that is crucial in our society? Well, that's what this class is about. We're going to talk about everything from formative to summative to performance-based assessment to student self-assessment to peer review. All those particular things we're going to talk about. And it's an exciting opportunity for us to examine what we're doing, and can we change what we're doing or be involved in the change process of what we're doing to create a better atmosphere, a better goal, a much more valuable instrument or way of assessing student learning. Well, this is a big step for me because I'm very pragmatic. I look at it as John Dewey did, that if you can't apply in the real world what you've learned in the classroom, then maybe what you've learned in the classroom doesn't have a whole lot of value. So application for me tends to be performance-based. But that doesn't mean it has to be that way for you. We'll have this discussion throughout this term. And as we go through this term, each week you'll be discussing something new will be presented. But it's always based upon these questions I just asked. The videos have been selected to cause you to think. And you'll have to reflect upon those videos. The papers that you write, the 3 papers, form a basis, a foundation for your signature assignment, performance-based assessment, and a rubric that you will apply in a classroom setting or in a work site. So we'll have all those things, and we'll talk about them in this classroom. And then there's something that you're going to be involved in, and that is student self-assessment, peer review. This literally is one of the highest levels of assessment a person can be involved in. So, enjoy the class with me as we take this journey together. And if you have any questions, you'll have my contact information. So please, never, never fail to contact me if you have a question. Thanks.